Who's that guy?
TV Crazy Man here with lots of goofs and fun facts from The Greatest American Hero. The Greatest American Hero ran from 1981 to 1983. It starred William Katt and Robert Culp. In case you missed the show the first time around, Ralph Hinkley is a school teacher who is given a costume from aliens that give him superpowers. He teams up with Bill Maxwell, an FBI agent. Think of it kind of like I Spy meets Superman if Superman didn't know how to use his powers very well. Or at all in some cases. The very first episode shows us Ralph's encounter with a UFO, where he's given a suit that grants him superpowers, complete with an instruction book, that he of course loses.
Suit's in the car. I lost the instruction book.
On this episode, Ralph flies with Bill on his back. Before he takes off, Ralph says something, but his lips aren't moving.
To the right.
No offense, kid. Will you explain it to me later?
To the right.
No offense, kid. Will you explain it to me later?
For the practical effects side of this scene, it looks like they replaced Robert Culp with a dummy. On takeoff, it looks like William Katt is replaced for a second by a stuntman, probably Dennis Danger Madalone. Dennis did a lot of the stunts for The Greatest American Hero, especially the takeoffs and landings. In this clip, you can see the type of device used to send them flying into the sky. Madalone also did the stunt work on Incredible Hulk and was often one of the bad guys the Hulk would send flying. On the third episode, Here's Looking at You, Kid, Katt was replaced by a stuntman several times while taking off and landing in a desert. It's probably Dennis Madalone. One thing's for sure, it wasn't William Katt. The strange thing is that Ralph keeps taking off from the same pile of sand no matter where he lands. Ralph is wandering around in a suit, invisible, when he suddenly uncontrollably becomes visible in front of Pam in a crowded restaurant.
Listen, honey, I'm gonna have to run the gauntlet through that whole room to get out of here. Yeah. Hey, don't worry.
Ralph has to walk in front of everybody, including Pam's parents, played by Bob Hastings from McHale's Navy and June Lockhart from Lost in Space.
That's the Janus Playhouse located on Rodeo Drive, south of Beverly.
I have to wonder though if he knew about the exit sign behind him. Might have been easier to go that way. On the episode, Rosetta Rose. Ralph uses his flying ability to make a bad guy talk.
Right there. Hold it.
So in this scene, obviously they had to use a lightweight dummy for the stuntman to run and jump. An actual full-grown man could have broke the stuntman's back. In this still, you can see the fake dummy hands that are connected around Stunt Ralph's waist. Using dummies for flying sequences had been going on for a very long time by the 1980s. So if you reverse the film and slow it down just a bit, you can see how the stuntman basically jumped off the building to create the illusion of flying, once they reversed the film, of course. Now, I've talked about how they use this trick in some of my other videos, like in this Wonder Woman clip, where you can see the smoke is going backwards, indicating the film was reversed. I have to say, the stunt men and women that did these types of stunts were the closest thing to real-life superheroes as you could get, and they did it without CGI.
Ain't seen nothing yet.
A little later, Ralph lands and skids underneath a car. But if you look closely, you can see a wire attached to him. Looks like they used a rope to pull him out and drag him, then reverse the film. Check out the van in the background. It goes forward when running the film the opposite direction from what the show had it. It appears to be going backwards awfully fast when ran normally as it appeared on the episode. On the episode, Fireman.
What happened? We break an axe or what?
Oh look, it's Danny Glover. This must have been before he was too old for this, for television appearances, before Lethal Weapon.
I'm too old for this.
In this same episode, Bill Maxwell is attacked by bad guys, who make Bill wreck his car. The interesting part is that Bill appears to change cars just seconds before crashing. I guess he didn't want to wreck his newer car.
Come on, are we back on that again?
Ralph is practicing a new power that results in Bill's car catching on fire and exploding. It also appears to have made Ralph's car disappear. We see Ralph standing by his car, and then poof, it's totally gone.
Wait a minute, I'm getting something.
So am I. Nauseous.
And now for a fast goof. Ralph puts his jacket on, walks out onto the field. The camera goes to Ralph's students for a second, then back to him. He's made it onto the field, but what happened to the jacket he just put on? In the Season 2 episode, Hog Wild, a motorcycle gang has taken over a small town and smashed up a local gas station. You can see junk is everywhere before Ralph flies by, but once he does fly by, it's almost like the gang decided to clean up their mess. And typically motorcycle gangs don't rampage and destroy and then clean up their mess before they leave. In the Season 2 episode, Plague, when Ralph catches up to Bill after he's been thrown from a helicopter, you can see that Ralph's cape is actually a parachute. You can even see a mini chute that activates the main chute attached to Ralph's right leg. Okay, unless I'm really losing my mind, that's not Ralph Hinkley.
Who is that guy?
In the episode, Now You See It, Ralph saves a plane from crashing, but the plane's tail changes color in the air, from red, white, and blue to gold, brown, and white. In this episode, Ralph finds a bomb and flies off with it. But then, where did the bomb go? We see him crash into the water, and seconds later an explosion occurs in the very same spot. Also, Ralph looks dry until he lands, and then he's soaked. On the episode, The Price is Right, Bill's car changes again during a pursuit. Now this kind of thing happened a lot back in the day. In this scene, Ralph has white shoes on. Then when he goes around the corner, it looks like he's got his red boots on. In the Season 3 episode, Live at 11, as Ralph takes off, you can see a trampoline springboard pop up from behind the bushes. This is very similar to what George Reeves used to do.
I see you're Ralph Hinkley.
Hinkley, actually. I'm sorry to see you retiring.
That's very kind of you, Mr. Hickle.
It's no wonder people had trouble with Ralph's name, because after the assassination attempt of the 80s greatest icon, Ronald Reagan, by John Hinckley, the show actually changed the character's name to Ralph Hanley for the remainder of the first season after that event occurred.
Mr. Handel, Rhonda's teacher.
Mr. Hanley.
You know, amazingly, I didn't notice this as a kid. Of course, they tried to sort of brush over the fact, for instance, by having his students refer to him as just Mr. H. And then they went back to Hinkley after the start of the second season. Do you remember all of Ralph's powers? Let's see if I can think of all of them that were displayed during the show's run.
The Lord works in mysterious ways.
You got something?
I see a house.
Ralph?
It's out of control.
What plane? Where?
Whoa!
John Hart did a guest spot as the Lone Ranger on the episode My Heroes Have Always Been Cowboys. He was the Ranger for 52 episodes back in the 1950s, taking the place of Clayton Moore for a short time. The theme for the show, Believe It or Not, was composed by Mike Post and sung by Joey Scarberry. It made it to number 2 and spent 18 weeks in the top 40. William Katt is the son of Barbara Hale, the actress who played Della Street on Perry Mason. Katt appeared on several Perry Mason TV movies in the 80s. Besides The Greatest American Hero, Robert Culp's most popular show was I Spy, whom he co-starred with Bill Cosby. After The Greatest American Hero, Connie Sellecca went on to star on the series Hotel. Michael Pare, who played one of Ralph's students, went on to star in the movies Philadelphia Experiment and Eddie and the Cruisers. Did you know that the Super Friends inspired Ralph Hinkley, the greatest American hero, way back in 1981?
Superman, Batman and Robin, to truth, justice, and peace for all mankind.
Please comment and let me know your thoughts on this video and the greatest American hero. Was this show one of your favorites back in the day? Please hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're new to this channel, I've got a ton of videos on classic TV with lots more goofs and fun facts. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a great day.